Welcome. Today we will discuss about the data preparation. Basically, in data science, the main part is data manipulation or data cleaning. The inaccurate or inadequate data leads to the misinterpretation. So the first and foremost duty is that whatever data or information we are receiving, make it appropriate for the further analysis. So, what is data cleaning and why it is required? Let us see. Data cleaning is the process of locating the incomplete, inaccurate, irrelevant, or missing portion of the information and then replace it, delete it, or otherwise altering them as per the necessity. Data cleaning is the most fundamental component of data science. It is quite obvious that in the real world today, from wherever the sources you are collecting or gathering the information or data, it will contain missing values, inconsistent values, erroneous values, or incomplete values. The analysis could be hampered and interpretations could be erroneous if the data is faulty. Until you provide the accurate data to the system cannot give you the accurate prediction. It will lead to the misinterpretation. Now, what is the different ways of cleaning data? Let us discuss in a broader way. The first is removal of irrelevant columns. When any columns, most of the values are absent, then it is unnecessary to consider the column. And in other ways, if any column has most of the values identical, that is, it does not giving any variability to the data set, then also it is unnecessary those columns, identify those columns, and will delete those columns from the data set as a first step. The second is there may be duplicate entries. The same rows with all the information identical may appear more than once. So all the duplicate rows should be deleted. The third step is capping of outliers. Now, what is outliers? Outliers are the extreme values, which is far away from the central values of the dataset. It may be genuine in nature, it may be erroneous entries. So many reasons behind the outliers. Basically, there is some tolerance limit, higher limit and lower limit. It is called Whisker limits, within which we take those datasets and apply our algorithms. Outside those limits is called outliers. But when we will build classification model, we need not treat outliers because it will be classified in levels. So far away entries will be automatically classified by the system. But in case of regression, when we are predicting some values, numerical values, then the outliers will be treated because the extreme values will have their weightage, will have their impact on the coefficients. Instead of deleting those outliers, we can capping them also within the suitable limits as per the requirement of the business. Next is data anomalies. Data anomalies means suppose there are characters instead of numerical entries, there is some question mark, hash mark, star mark like that. So it does not have any implication, does not have any values. It is valueless. Sometimes what happens in the same column, suppose we are putting the gender of the individual. It was written as female, some are written as F, male, some are written as M. But basically, male and M and female and F are the same entries. It comes to the same category. So we have to amalgamate all those rows together. Female and F, it should be brought down in the same level and the same column. So in this way, there are some certain algorithms, certain process, how these type of anomalies can be written off. Now next is non-value. What are null values? Null values are those who does not carry any information, that is vacant cells. So there are 2-3 types of operations to handle the null values. Let us see one by one. First is straight away we can drop them. If the proportion of null value in the full data set is very negligible, then we can straight away drop them. Otherwise, if the null value portion is substantial, then we have to input them, because if we delete all those null values, we have to face information loss to a greater extent. Instead of deleting those rows, that is all the information straight away, we can input them so that other informations can come to the picture. Now, how to input? If the value of the column is numerical in nature, then we replace it by mean or median. But if extreme values are present, then we should replace it by median, because mean is impacted by the extreme values. It can be biased if we impute them by mean. So in normal cases, we impute the numerical values, null values, by mean if the column is numerical, and by median when there is present of extreme values are there. And if the column is of categorical values, then we'll replace by mode. Mode means most frequently observed level of that particular category, particular column. So these are the basic ways of cleaning data. There are other special types of data anomalies also there. But in this video, we are discussing only the basic things. Those things we can elaborately discuss in our upcoming videos.